I think I just moved my... So thank you for joining me today for yoga. We're just going to start lying on our back in Shavasana. Eyes closed, palms up, body relaxed. And just let's set our intention to be present here today on our mat. There's so many things around us to distract us. So let's make our practice about being here and present today, paying attention to our body and how it feels. And even maybe paying attention to some of the emotions this practice brings up. Because often it makes us think of why this body part hurts or just releases some stress and tension. So just be mindful of that today. And like I said, when you need to take a break at any time, grab some water. And when you're ready on your next inhale, let's pull both our knees just into our chest. Just do a little rocking side to side. Let your knees move freely. Maybe drawing some circles here. Our lower back carry a lot of tension. Just do what feels good here. If you're going with circles, you can switch directions. And come to stillness. Lift your head. Wrap your arms around your leg. Give yourself a little hug. Take a nice big inhale. Release slightly. And as you exhale, pull yourself really, really deep. And then release. I'm just going to roll onto my left side here so I can press myself up into a nice tabletop position. Just knees below hips, hands below our shoulders. We're just going to suck our core, engage it, spreading all fingers, pressing them into the mat as we curl our toes under and lift our hips for downward dog. Today we're not going to walk up the dog, so just focus on pulling your heels down, pressing your palms to the mat, maybe squeezing your quads just a little bit, get a little bit more in those hamstrings. We're going to stretch them out quite a bit today. So maybe just send some extra breath to the back of those legs. Really push through in those shoulders. Just focus on your breathing here. Let's take one more big, full cycle of breath here. And then as much as you want, bend your knees. We're going to walk our hands to our feet. When we get to the top of our mat, you're just going to straighten your legs out. If your hands can't touch the mat, that's okay. Just let them hang there. Just focus on feeling a nice stretch here in those hamstrings. Now, as you take your next inhale, we're going to halfway lift, so flatten out the back, bring the hands to the shin, just suck the core in, and just stay here for a few cycles of breath. We're looking down at the ground. We're going to slowly lean a little bit farther forward, putting a little bit more weight into the balls of our feet, into those toes, and just see how this deepens that hamstring stretch here. Sucking in that core, keeping that back nice and flat. Take one more big inhale here. And as you exhale, folding over, softening the knees. Now you're going to grab opposite elbow with opposite hand here for a ragdoll. The knees can be a little soft, but we're still stretching in those hamstrings. If you want, you can do a little swing side to side here. Doing whatever feels good. Letting the neck hang loose and relax. Take two more nice slow breaths here. Last breath to do whatever feels good. Then we're going to release our arms, straighten our legs as we inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward, just soften the knees as you inhale, sweeping the arms up, come to rise, palms come together as we exhale through heart center. Keep the palms here, press them into each other just to get a little shoulder activation. Relax the shoulders, relax the jaw. Taking a nice big inhale here and exhale. We're going to interlace our fingers and flip the palms so they're facing away from us, just at shoulder height. As you take your next inhale, bring your hands up overhead, relaxing the shoulders as you exhale. As you inhale, really try to lengthen the spine, pull the fingers, getting a nice stretch. And as you exhale, we're going to start to tilt towards the right side, sending the hips to the left, reaching especially that left arm overhead, getting a nice full stretch on the left side. Engaging the core. Just for holding this for a few breaths. So just remember, if you have any pain, just come out of the stretch just a little bit. Take one more full cycle of breath here. Maybe as you exhale, sink a little deeper. On your next inhale, come back up through center. Exhaling over to the left this time, setting the hips to the right, reaching with the heel of the right hand overhead. Getting a nice full stretch on the right side this time. Keeping the armpits towards the sky. And just looking in front of you. One more full breath here. Exhale, sink a little deeper. Inhale, come back up to center. Bring your hands back to prayer. Exhale, back to heart center. Relax the shoulders. Refind your center. Inhale to lengthen the crown of the head just a little bit to the side. As you exhale, just send your hips forward just a little bit, letting your gaze come a little towards the sky, just for a mini back bend here. Again, don't go to any pain, just a micro bend. Lift through that chest, pressing it out. Don't let your body sag. And on your next inhale, come back up. Let's release our hands down to Tadasana, our mountain pose. Really spreading those fingers wide, pulling the shoulders down, activating the shoulders and the lats. We're going to do a little mini flow here, so I'm just going to switch to the side of my mat here. We're going to inhale, sweep the arms up overhead. Exhale, you're going to swan dive, come forward. Nice and slow. Inhaling, halfway lift. As you exhale, we're going to walk our feet back to a plank. Take a full cycle of breath here. Suck that core in. And let's drop, everybody drop your knees. Take one more big inhale here. Keeping the elbows tight as you exhale, lower all the way down to the ground. Inhale, just lift the chin, lift the chest, baby cobra. Exhale, press up through to tabletop onto your knees, curl the toes, downward facing dog. Again, let's spend some time here pulling the heels down to the ground, but lifting the tailbone up. Trying to press your chest a little bit closer towards those legs and keeping all your fingers engaged and pressing into the mat. And just check in with yourself, see how your body's feeling. On your next inhale, we're going to lift the right leg straight up to the sky, and we're going to bend the knee and open up the hip, kind of like I'm trying to kick my left butt cheek here. This is our tail of the dog, three-legged dog. If you can here, drop that left heel just to get a deeper stretch, but you don't have to. And keep that chest facing the mat. Take one more full cycle of breath here. Really open up those hips. Take a nice big exhale. Release all that air. As you inhale, bring the knee to the chin, hanging plank, and then step the right foot forward just for a lunge. That's it. And then step the left foot to meet the right, coming to half or forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold over, soften the knees. Inhale, sweep the arms up, come to rise. Palms come together, and we're going to exhale through heart center. We're going to do our tree pose here, so if you need something for balance, grab a wall, or maybe just be close for some support. We're going to release our hands down. I'm going to start on my right side, so I'm going to soften my left knee and really root down through those toes. As I inhale, I'm going to lift my right knee up and externally rotate it. You can stay here on the ground, be on your calf or your thigh. Just make sure you're not pressing into that knee, finding that balance. Your hands can come to your hips, or if you've got great balance, can come to heart center. You can press that foot into your thigh, your calf, to help create some balance. If you fall out of this pose, just come back to it. Really focus on trying to externally open up that right leg. Maybe finding a focal point here. Lengthening up through the spine. On your next inhale, bring that right knee forward. Exhale, drop it back down to the ground. Good. Shake out that left leg if you needed it for a lot of stability. Time we're going to root down, soften the right knee. Inhale, lift the left leg up. You can plant it on your calf, your thigh, keeping it on the ground. Exhale to rotate it. Continue to help pull up if you need to. Just make sure that foot is not pressing into the knee at all. And keep your hands on your hips or maybe have them out for balance. If you find your center, you can join your hands together in prayer. As you relax your shoulders, again, press that thigh or shin into the foot. Create a little pressure and balance. The more you practice your balance, the easier it will come. Some of us have it easily. Some of us, it's a little bit of a journey, but that's okay. Take one more breath here. And exhale, release everything out. When you're ready, inhale, bring that knee back forward. Exhale, release it. Good. We're going to do another flow. You can take the little modified flow that we did before or come with me for our more full flow. As we inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhaling, folding over, swan dive. Inhale, halfway lift, flatten out that back. Exhale, plant the hands. You're going to step back into plank. Just hold the plank here for breath. And again, you have the option to drop your knees. If not, as you exhale, lower down halfway through Chaturanga. Inhale, you're going to lift up dog or cobra. Press through those shoulders. And exhale, let's all come to our downward facing dog. Good. Find your dog here. Take another big inhale. And as you exhale, try and press your heels down a little bit more. And on your next inhale, this time we're going to lift the left leg up, bend the knee, open up the hip. Just like you're trying to kick your right butt cheek here. Sometimes we find ourselves like this, but really lift that leg up and back as far as you can, while you still keep the chest facing the mat. Getting a nice side body stretch here. Take one more big inhale here. And as you exhale, bring the knee to chin, and then plant the foot. Just sink into this lunge just a little bit. Opening up those hips. And this time you're going to step the right foot forward to meet the left. We're going to heel toe our feet so they're mat width apart. So we're going to do a nice forward fold here with just a little bit wide legs. Lots of hamstrings today. Just release the head. If you can't grab the ground, you can grab behind your legs for a little support. Or maybe bring your hands to your hips. It's up to you. Good. Take a nice big inhale, halfway lift here. Exhale, fold over, and we're going to step back into our plank position. Hold that plank. You have the option to drop to your knees here. Take a nice big inhale here. And everybody's going to exhale all the way through Chaturanga down to the ground. All the way to the ground. And I'm going to inhale, just lift my chin, lift my chest, and I'm going to move my arms one at a time. Where my palm was, I'm going to put my elbows. palms stay shoulder width apart and pressing into the ground. This is our Sphinx pose. If this is a little hard on you, you can walk your elbows forward just a little bit so the back bend's not intense. If you want to go a little more intense here, you can start to lift your elbows up, still pressing in the hands, give a little bit more of a back bend, or maybe lift that chin up. Pressing those hips and the tops of the feet into the mat. Remember, we don't want any pain here. We have one more full cycle of breath here. Take a nice big exhale, let it all go. If you're up, drop your elbows. And let's all bring our hands back under those shoulders and exhale, bring your left ear to the mat. So we're going to do a half bow here. So if you cannot grab your foot, you can feel free to use your towel or your strap to do so. When inhale, just lift myself back up. I'm going to put my elbows back where my palms were. And just for support, I'm going to take my left hand and bring it over to where my right elbow is. I'm going to bend my right knee, and I'm going to grab the inside of that right foot. By grabbing the inside, I'm also opening up that shoulder. This is a modified half bow. If you want to go deeper, you can start to press your foot into that hand and lift the leg up off the mat. You don't have to. Having your upper body up will make it a little bit more difficult for that to happen. So don't push into any pain. Good. Release that leg if it's down. I'm going to flip my grip here, and I'm going to focus more on the quad stretch. So I'm going to bend my elbow and try and pull that heel as far as I can towards my glute. So you want to make sure the right heel is going to the right glute. You don't want to cross it over and put pressure on that knee. Keep everything in line here. Got one more big breath here. And as you exhale, release that foot back down. Put your elbow back in place. Palms to the ground, a little bit into our Sphinx. And then let's bring our hands back under the shoulders, and we're going to drop our right ear to the mat. Just release, reset your spine. Good. Let's come back up, elbows below shoulders. This time I'm going to bring my right hand over to where my left elbow is. I'm going to bend my left knee, making sure my knee's in line with my hip. And I'm going to grab the inside of that left foot again. If you can't grab it, you can use a strap or a towel. By grabbing the inside, we're getting into that shoulder and pec stretch. This is intense enough for you. You can stay here. If you want to be a little more active, you can press the foot into the hand, or maybe lift that leg up just slightly off the ground. If you're trying to lift the foot up, you can also try pressing your right foot into the mat just a little bit. Good. If your leg's up, you can release it back to the ground, and we're all going to grab the inside, or the outside, of that left foot. And this time I'm going to push my hips to the ground and try and pull my heel as close as I can towards my glute, getting into the hips. Like I said, push those hips in the mat if you want to get deeper, especially into that hip flexor. Take one more breath here. Good. Exhale, release. Let's bring the palms back to the side, and let's drop our forehead or chin to the mat, dropping our forearms as well. Now we can really let our spine reset in alignment here. The next inhale, we're going to press ourselves up into tabletop. Exhale into a nice child's pose. You can go wide if you want with the legs, or you can keep them hip width, or maybe bring them narrow here. Just a little counter stretch. Take one more big breath here. And exhale. So you can stay here, but if you'd like a water break, which I do recommend if you're getting a little warm, just grab some water here and we'll all meet back, sitting actually on our bums. So take a few breaths here. Get that water if you need it. And like I said, have it close by. So we're gonna sit on our bums with our legs folding forward. So let's all come into this position now. And a lot of us tend to sit a little slumped like this. I want you to engage your core, lift through the chest. Press our palms by our side here, relaxing our shoulders, flexing the toes. This is our Dandasana, our staff pose. Just focus on keeping everything engaged. As you inhale, sweep the arms up overhead. Exhale, folding over. We're going to stay here for a few breaths in this hamstring stretch. If you can't grab your feet, you can always use your strap, or you can grab underneath your calf and pull yourself a little bit deeper. And as you exhale, just sink the head down, drop it down. You can flex your toes to get a bit more to those calves. Take one more big breath here. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, sink deeper. As you inhale, let's come out of that stretch. I'm just being attacked by a bug here. We're going to come back to a nice Dandasana pose. Yeah. Palms right by our hips. Relaxing those shoulders. Nice upright position. That was our intense Western pose. We're going to do intense Eastern. You can take the option. It's just a reverse plank. If reverse plank is too hard for you, you can bend your feet and do this in reverse table. I'm going to show you the reverse plank. So I'm just going to walk my hands back a little bit farther back behind me. Fingers point towards my toes. Now to inhale, I'm going to lift my hips up, point my toes. If you're comfortable and you don't have any dizziness problems, you can drop your head behind you, but try not to sink in those shoulders. Really press up, squeeze those shoulder blades together. Again, I'll show you, you can be in reverse table. It's up to you. You got 2 more breaths here. Take your last one. And exhale, release. Good. And we're just going to bend our knees, grab underneath our legs, and round our back and sink back. Just a little bit of a counter stretch here, a little bit of an upper back stretch. Good. Inhaling, let's come back up. We're going to do a little series here on each side. So I'm going to keep my right leg straight in front of me, hip, knee, ankle alignment. And then I'm going to bend my left leg and bring the sole of the foot along, anywhere along that right leg. So this is basically our tree, but in a seated position. So yes, you want to externally rotate here. This is our Janushirasana, head to knee pose. So that's our goal. As we inhale, sweep arms up, exhaling, folding over. Again, if you can't grab that foot, you can use your strap or grab underneath that calf. Try not to round ourselves up too much, keeping a nice flat position here. And breathe into that hamstring stretch. As you exhale, try and sink a little deeper. Keeping those toes flexed. One more big inhale here. And as you exhale, sink as deep as you can go. Good. Inhale, come back up. I'm going to bring the left knee back in. So the sole of the foot's on the mat, but then I'm going to cross it on the outside of that right foot. I'm going to take my left hand and bring it behind me. So the knee that's up is the hand that's behind you. As you inhale, sweep the right arm up overhead. Then we're going to exhale, bring it to the outside of that left leg and look over our left side. Looking over that left shoulder, pressing that arm into that leg. If you can't do that, you can always hug yourself in. Really lengthening through the spine as you inhale. As you exhale, twist a little bit more for our Marishasana pose here. Good. Take one more big inhale here. And then exhale, release. We're gonna give our leg a little hug here. Still sitting upright, hug, 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 and release. This time I'm gonna bring the left leg straight out in front of me, hip, knee, ankle alignment. I'm gonna bend my right knee, externally rotate it to the sole of the right foot. Now comes along my left leg, wherever it reaches. Sitting upright, keeping a nice tall posture. I'm gonna inhale, sweep my arms up, leading with the chest, fold over with a flat back. And again, grab wherever you can or use that strap to get around your foot. Making sure you're not rounding out. We want this to be fully in that hamstring, so flex those left toes. You'll get a bit into the calf. And sink deeper on those exhales. Making sure that left hip is pressing into the mat. You're trying to pull yourself just a little deeper here. Take one more full cycle of breath. Exhale, release. Your next inhale, let's bring ourselves back upright. I'm gonna bring my right knee back in so the sole of the foot is on the mat and then cross it over. So this time my right foot's on the outside of the left foot. Right hand comes behind me, sitting upright. So inhale, lift the left arm up. Exhale, bring the left arm to the outside of the right leg or hugging in. And this time looking over that right shoulder. Sitting up a little taller on our inhale. And as you exhale, press a little deeper to rotate. Flexing those left toes. And pressing the right hand into the ground. Take one more full cycle of breath here. Exhale, twist, twist, twist one more time. Inhale, release. Give yourself a little bit of a hug. And release that right leg back out. I'm just going to turn to face you here. I'm going to bring my legs nice and wide. This is a wide-legged seated fold. You can grab a quick drink here. Up to you. Mine was happened to be handy. And I'm going to flex my toes here. So I'm still sitting upright, relaxing my shoulders. You should feel a little bit of inner thigh engagement. If you don't, try and bring those legs out just a little bit more. As you inhale, sweep the arms up overhead. Exhaling, folding over. This time you can let the head go, get a little rounding here. Release in the back and the hamstring. As long as you keep those toes flexed, you should get a little bit in the calves as well. We're just going to start rocking ourselves a little side to side here. Opening up those hips. And as I slowly rock, I'm going to rock myself back up to seated position. And I'm going to bend my left leg. And again, I'm going to bring the sole of the foot to the inside of my right. So this is similar to the Janu Sirsasana, but now my legs are out wide instead of in front of me. So I'm going to take my right arm and bring it in front of my right leg. Eventually, your goal is to get your whole forearm down. It's still a work in progress, so wherever you are, that's fine. Keep it there. And as I inhale, sweeping my left arm up overhead, reaching right over my head, think about trying to reach over your head and grab those right toes. Just feel a nice side body stretch here. Get a nice big inhale here. Exhale, sink deeper. Do one more breath. Now your next inhale, let's turn our body to face that right leg. Folding over here. I like to grab the outside of my leg to try and keep my body nice and straight towards that right leg. But it's up to you. You can train your leg. Take one more breath here. And walk your hands over just to the left. Just nice and gently, just for a little counter stretch. Reset your spine. And then come back up to center. Let's release the left leg straight out, creating that nice wide V position. I'm going to bend my right leg, bring the sole of the foot against my left inner thigh. This time the left arm's going to come in front of me. As I inhale, sweeping the right arm all the way to the side, overhead, reaching, trying to get those left toes this time. Feeling the stretch all along the side body here. Trying to sink a little deeper on those exhales. Good. Inhale, let's come back. Oh, I lied. As you exhale, let's turn towards that leg. We almost forgot that nice, good, deep stretch here in that lower back. Just trying to keep that chest nice and parallel to that leg. And let's walk our hands over just nice and gently to the right side, just a little counter twist. And then release back up to center. This time I'm going to bend the left knee in to meet the left or the right foot for a little Baddha Konasana. Sitting upright here. Maybe a little forward fold, putting a little more pressure on those legs. Just going to rock a little side to side here. Stretching out in each thigh individually, rocking just a little bit, nice and gentle. The one glute comes off the mat, that's okay. See what feels good here in your Baddha Konasana. All right, good. We're gonna do one more seated pose and we'll come down to our back. Starting with the right leg on the bottom, I'm going to bring my right shin parallel to the top of my mat. I'm going to cross the left ankle over top, just above that knee on that thigh. Some of us might be up here, that's okay. Some of us might have our knee and foot touching. If you needed to go deeper, you can always bring the foot closer to your hip. But for most of us, just above the knee is probably fine. I'm just going to add a little pressure here in my log cabin to the left knee, just trying to bring it down a little bit, opening up those hips. You can feel this really intensely, maybe on your right hip, but especially on that left top hip. I've been doing puzzling and sitting on the ground, and adults are not, we don't sit cross-legged, so even just sitting in that cross-legged position we used to so often as a child can really, really open up and stretch those hips. This is just the next more intense level of that cross-legged position. All right, what I'm going to do is I'm leaving my right bottom knee where it is. I'm going to take my left ankle and I'm going to pull it across, lifting up my hips a little bit so my knees now become stacked. So I'm bringing my left foot over to the right. This is my cow face pose. Getting a little bit more into those hips. And if you want to go deeper, I like to press just that medial part of my arch, trying to push the top of my feet to the ground a little bit more, just externally rotating a little bit more. Or you can feel free to fold over. Take whatever position you want here, just as intense as you want to bring it to yourself. Good. And release those legs, give them a little shake out. And this time my left leg is going to become my bottom leg. So my left shin is going to come parallel to that short edge of your mat, and then your right ankle is going to cross just above that left knee. Just take note, your sides are probably a bit different. Just take note, don't judge. And again, you can add a little extra weight here. Trying to press into that right thigh. Again, if you need to go deeper, you can bring that foot closer to that hip, more into that lotus pose. And if you're up here, just try and press the leg just slightly. You shouldn't feel any pain here, just a nice deep stretch. All right, this time when you're ready, left leg stays where it is. I'm going to lift my right leg, lean a little to that left, and I'm going to pull my right leg over so my right knee is kind of stacking on top of the left. If you're really not open in the hips, this might be difficult, so just go as far as you can. And again, I'm going to put my hands just on my inside of my arches, trying to press the tops of my feet down. You can also fold over here to a nice forward fold. Taking a few breaths here. We're almost done our practice. Just let your body relax and give it that nice deep stretching that it needs. One more big inhale here. Good. Exhale, release. All right. I'm going to cross my legs, and I'm going to slowly make my way down onto my back. Let's keep the soles of the feet bent onto the mat. Let's walk the mat width apart. I'm going to drop both knees over to the left, and then lift them up over to the right. You can do this at your own pace here. I'm just inhaling up, exhaling, dropping over to the next side. Going as deep as you want here, lifting up that top leg, top glute. Just releasing those hips and those back. And then we're all going to make ourselves way over just to the left side. So keep both your knees to the left side. You can place your palms on the ground next to you. If you want to go deeper here, you're going to pick up your left foot and just place it on top of your right leg, hopefully on the quad. This will help deepen the stretch in that right hip and thigh. Again, if that right glute's coming off the mat, that's okay here. Just keep your shoulders on the mat and just breathe into the stretch. Take one more big deep breath here. Good. Uncross that left foot, put it back on the mat. And as you inhale, bring the knees back up through center, exhaling over towards the right side. Again, you can stay here, or if you want to go deeper, you can lift that right foot up this time and place it on top of your left leg, hopefully above the knee. Just adding a little extra weight. You don't even need to press into it. Just that extra weight will help deepen the stretch. Take 2 more full cycles of breath here. Last one, really go deep here. Let your body just relax as you exhale. And then release the right foot back to the mat. Inhale the legs back to center. And then walk your feet back out on the mat, nice and loose. Let's just let our palms come up towards the sky. Relaxing the shoulders, or maybe just pinching the blades together just a little bit to release the heart here. Coming into our final pose, our Shavasana. And coming back to our intent of trying to be present on our mat. It's difficult. We've got busy lives. So maybe take a moment here just to assess yourself. Don't beat yourself up if you weren't able to maintain that presence. But just tell yourself you will try harder next time. Yoga is not a right or a wrong. There is only a journey ahead of us. Just focus on taking some nice deep breaths here. Let this be the close of today's practice. We've been lucky. We've had some really nice weather this week. May has not been the warmest so far, so this has helped us. Just make sure you enjoy it while you can. But protect yourself. If you need some sunscreen, don't forget it. But the sun can do wonders for our mood, even the fresh air, just to make us a little happier, a little more productive, give us a little more mental clarity. So you have the chance to spend some time outside and just enjoy being out in nature with the fresh air. When you're ready, on your next inhale, we're going to lift our left arm up overhead, and we're going to roll onto the left side body here. Just placing the right palm into the mat, creating a little pressure as you push into it, connecting yourself to the earth. And when you're ready, just push yourself up to a nice, comfortable seated position, whether it's cross-legged, on your knees, or whatever you want. Just find somewhere comfortable here to breathe. And bring your palms together at your heart center, either keeping your eyes closed or downcast. Just thanking yourself for showing up today, for being as present as you can be today. And just remember, enjoy the outside, the sun, the air, nature. It can do wonders for our lives. So thank you for sharing this practice with me and your fellow yogis, from the light in me to the light in you. Namaste. Like I said, guys, if you're practicing outside or even just in a hot place, make sure you get plenty of water. And hopefully you enjoyed today's practice.